Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Zombies 3. This is finishing out, so far, the Zombies trilogy. I don't know if there's going to be another one. I don't keep up on the zombies, the zombie universe. I have now seen all three of the Zombies films. This came out this year, 2022. It's an hour and 31 minutes, and it stars the same cast. Pretty much everybody from the previous two films. It's set in a small town called Seabrook. And I'm going to tell you this, even though you may have already seen yesterday's episode where I looked at Zombies 3, the reason why I'm doing these back to back is because the randomizer, which normally picks whatever I end up watching on Disney Plus, picked Zombies 3, and I had not seen Zombies 2 yet. And so I made an executive decision to go, nope, 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 nope. These kind of are tightly, even though they're their own stories, they are connected. I could kind of tell, and I know it's been like a year and a half since I've seen the first one, and I barely remember it. And I hope I used the green background coloring for that one because it was very much about zombies. Yesterday's I did purple because it was very much about the color scheme for the werewolves, and today I'm using the dark blue because it's very much the color scheme of the aliens. So yeah, we got humans, zombies, werewolves, and aliens. Where will they go next if they come back? Yes, by the way, there is an animated shorts series, Addison's something or other, but we haven't gotten to that, and we're not going to watch that. It'll get picked when it gets picked. It's just the way it'll be. We'll let it go. Anyway, this, of course, it brings all of our heroes together and pseudo villains. Again, it's the kind of thing where just like the High School Musical films, you have all the snobby jerk bad guy characters who treat our heroes like crap the entire time. It creates a rivalry, and it's that cliche old high school class system kind of thing. Yeah, it exists. In this case, though, the bad guys are just obnoxiously dumb and they're self-absorbed to a humorous degree. So they're not dangerous as they are just obnoxious and funny. They're funny. So I mean, the guy who plays Bucky, Trevor Tordman, yeah, Tordman. He's kind of the lead jerk in the cast, but he's prominent singer dancer in this cast, along with everybody else with Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly. I still haven't memorized their names properly in this, but it's like I said, it's been 2.5. It's been a year and a half since I've seen the first film, and now I have two back to back to ingrain themselves in my mind. I will never forget again until probably tomorrow. And again, everybody's back, sort of. There is one character, Kaylee. No, Eliza. Sorry, her name is Kaylee. Kylie. Her name's Kylie. Kylie Russell plays Eliza, and she is back, but she is not with the cast. She is always calling in over video chat. I realize this was probably made during the pandemic or at one point in the pandemic. I don't know. I don't know when it was made. But the reason why she's separate, it made me curious the entire time, because when that kind of thing happens, we're like, oh, okay, the actors are coming back, but they're not going to be in any scenes with anybody. Sometimes that means there's some kind of tension, like she can't be in the same room with somebody. I don't know. So in this case, I looked it up and I found out she's pregnant. Yes, these are not teenagers. In fact, she is one of the oldest cast members of the kids. They're all supposed to be like 17, graduating high school in this episode. So, yeah. She's like 26, 25, 26, and she's pregnant. That's why you always see her on screen halfway up. Yeah, just the top half and talking to her. She's a talking head on a screen. Even, yeah, it's pretty much. There's flashbacks to other episodes where you can see her, with the gang, but for the most part, you never see her in from here on, except for here on up. So she's pregnant the whole time that when she's doing this. So yeah, she's actually not afraid of getting COVID or anything. She's just pregnant. So yeah, okay, to the story here. and the actors. Let me do the actors. I have to say, I forgot to say yesterday, and I'm sure I said this in the first film a year and a half ago. The principal is one of my favorite characters because she has such great comedic delivery. She has very, very small role in this, and I roll my eyes at these films because everything is centered around cheer. And when when aliens come and visit the planet, by the way, they take no time in making a very clear Close Encounters of the Third Kind reference. Just watch. Everybody's having it's the night before it's the night of the big football game, and everybody's out in the street singing and dancing, of course, and sorts of things happening, and of course aliens arrive and just trash the town for the most part, not intentionally, but one of the kids in the band, I think, blows his horn at the spaceship and it responds, kind of Close Encounters. So that was funny. But yeah, it's basically the town gets invaded, and they to the point of the actors, the characters, one of the things I find really weird, when they do get invaded, their first point of contact is children, is the teenagers, and Addison's parents. Her mom is like the mayor, and also the principal of the school. They interrogate the aliens who come along peacefully, and they also look like teenagers. Everybody's an adult in this thing. They look like teenagers, and they let the other kids interrogate them in separate rooms of the high school. Like, yeah, like the government's not going to show up. No, no, no. Don't bring in like the FBI, or any Secret Service, or Area 51. No, don't bring any of those people in. We already have enough weirdness in our town. We got zombies, we got werewolves. Aliens, let them handle it. So, I find it just really funny that they don't bother with any kind of outside stuff. And I realize it would just complicate the story and just it would drag it down. So you gotta move ahead. And this is primarily a comedy, so they lean into it. And don't think that it's just like, oh, well, they don't understand how things would really work in the real world. You're talking about a movie with zombies and werewolves and aliens. Anyway, we get these aliens who are looking for the most precious thing in this town. And if you've been following along with the previous films, you get the idea that Addison is looking for who she really is. She was not really sure where she belonged all these times. And we got a clue at the end of Zombies 2, yesterday, at the end of the episode, as to what her connection, what her true origin might be. And could it be aliens? Well, there's a mystery to be solved, and that's what the gang does in the process of this. But can they trust the aliens? Are they really here for the reasons that they say they are? They're just here for cheer. like they literally, a flyer blows past their leg and they go, oh, we're here for a cheer competition? We have no emotions until we just push a switch on our wristband and suddenly allow us to have emotions, and wow, now we can act like teens and be competitive or be snarky or fall in love, or whatever. It's just everything is a plot device to get from one scene to the next, when they're not using a song to get from one scene to the next. And that's all right. Again, don't take it too seriously. If you're taking this really seriously and looking for logical points, this is not for you. And again, as I said with yesterday's episode, this film is not made for everybody. It's not made for me at all. I am not a 9-year-old girl. I'd have you check. I'd prove it, but I will not, for your benefit. Just trust me on this. It's not made for me, and that's okay. I was entertained by it. I still found it delightful. The music's not my favorite music, but they do know how to make a good, energetic, upbeat soundtrack. The characters are appealing, between Milo and Meg, who are both co-producers on this film as well by this time. I don't know if they were in the first one, but as they've evolved, they've got an investment in this thing to make it look good, because they're the two primary characters. They're the love interests. And, well, that's going to be tested through this, because apparently if Milo isn't exceptional, he's not going to go to the same college as everybody else. He's going to be the first zombie accepted to college, but yet there's other zombies who are also trying to go to the same college. Mountain College. They're seaside, and they're going to go to a mountain college. So everything tells me that they could be making a foreign. I'm sure I could have checked. And some of you are probably already realizing this and going, we all know that there's going to be a Zombies 4. Come on, you dummy. Well, I don't know. So, anyway, music's fun. Again, not something I'd turn on to listen to on the radio or the radio. That is what your grandparents listen to, children, or listen to on whatever device or streaming service you listen to. Yeah, just not something I'd be listening to, but it fits the spirit of the film. It fits the spirit of the kids, and even with like High School Musical and stuff like that. And even I think Descendants, which are other trilogies or more series that came out of the Disney Channel musicals. They all had little slower ballads, and I can't remember. This might have had one, and the ones in the past have always had a little bit more melancholy. This one is just upbeat, or it's got a ferocity kind of thing. Obviously, when you have the werewolves, it's almost like a dance battle kind of feel to them. It's like beat it, in a sense. So yeah, there's the music works as a vehicle, of course, as any musical does, to express the feelings in a more emphatic way than you would from, let's do some expositional dialogue. No, that's not what it's for. And again, you're playing this for 9-year-olds, so or any age, but it's just the way it is. I want to mention another actor, by the way. RuPaul plays the voice of the mothership. So yeah, not a big role. You never see RuPaul, but there you go. It's cool. Just that's probably the biggest name in this film. But yeah. When it comes to who else do I want to mention here? Oh, Terry Who. They are probably the first. I don't want to mischaracterize this, but non-binary character. They're an alien, one of the aliens, and I want to Kelly. It's Terry Who. Terry Who? I thought it was spelled differently where I saw it elsewhere. Anyway, Terry Who. Definitely first non-binary character, I think, seen in like a Disney musical show, and they end up with one of our major characters along the way, but it's a very small part of this. It's not played up. There is no affectionate scenes beyond a smile and a wink, and addressing each other in a song. That's at the big finish. By the way, this is one of the first ones. The last one, they had, they always end with a big musical number. They must have run so close on time they had to run the credits during the big musical number, and they even added an animation piece, as they often do, sort of as a recap at the beginning. They added an animation piece toward the end, just before the big number, and it gives us a clue as to maybe, if they do continue, what might be the next type of being would be included in this. I'm not going to spoil it, but they are a town called Seaport or Seaside or something. Something. I can't see the picture really well. Seabrook. Sorry, I just watched 2 of these in a row, and I still can't remember the name. Of course, when you come to talking about topics and themes and everything else in this, yes, they throw in a ton. Whether they make nod to the fact that the aliens lost their planet, to environmental issues that everybody just kind of didn't talk about because they all wanted to get along, and because it was too inconvenient or it was too troublesome to discuss, they just kind of ignored it, and their planet died, and they had to find a new one. And that's kind of what one of their missions is to find a planet that would be their utopia, that their leader had found many years ago, sent a message back and said that the secret is on this planet Earth, and it will lead you. There's something that's on Earth that will lead you to your utopia. Where is that utopia? And where is the key to finding that utopia? Well, it's gonna put our gang in some pretty intense situations. And by the way, like I said, thematically in the past, it always makes metaphorical nods to racism and otherism and indigenous peoples and class inequity, all that kind of stuff, all these things. This one has to do with immigration a little bit because the aliens realize that they're going to stick around. A lot of people don't want them there. A lot of people find them strange. A lot of people find them weird, including some of our heroes. And it makes it a little bit tense. But, hey, these are stories to be talking about. But the main thing in this is the fact that as peaceful as these aliens are, and how they have no emotions and how they just sort of avoid any kind of conflict, well, guess what? It's pretty much left them stagnant. And yeah, conflict is all right. Conflict can happen as long as you can be sane about it, which we are having problems with in this world, in the real world right now, as compared to Zombies 3. So, yeah, it's a kind of thing that could be a good lesson for kids to learn when they're watching this, if not adults. So, yeah, let's have some conflict. Let's work things out. Let's make the world and ourselves better in the process, not worse. Zombies 3 has figured it out. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say about that. I want to spoil some things, but I'm not gonna. It's pretty new, so odds are, if you really were a big fan of zombies films in the first place, you would have already watched this. You've had a few months since it was premiered. But if you haven't, hey, this is one more recommendation. I can't say that I'll ever watch it again. It's not my thing unless I have somebody that has an interest in watching it. Sure, I won't groan and say it's horrible. We've seen horrible things here on Disney Plus. Yeah, I can think of one recently, but there was no music, but there was a dog. Anyway, and Kirk Cameron. Anyway, we won't talk about any of this stuff. So I say, if you're going to do it, start from the beginning, of course, and watch as the characters progress. And this does leave their story, the character story. They could end this right now. They could never come back to these characters again, and it would all be done. And I think it would be a satisfying ending. But if they feel like a paycheck is needed, I say, come on back, make it 4. So yeah, this is the point where I would normally pick, hey, let's randomly pick our next episode, but I already know what we're going to do next. The reason why we're doing tomorrow's episode the way I'm doing it is because 2 days from now, a brand new Disney original series is premiering. So in preparation for that, why not watch the thing that made it all possible? We're going to be watching Willow, the movie, in preparation for Willow, the series. So, and I have a big confession to make tomorrow with the Willow, the movie, after I watch it. So, yeah, tomorrow we're watching Willow, the motion picture from Lucasfilm on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.